CM Punk's a casual wrestling guy. Like, he gets it. CM Punk has become the voice of the casual wrestling community. He confirmed everything that we have talked about for the last 3 years, that the IWC has continued to stitch and bitch about week after week. My biggest takeaway from this interview, guys, is what I've been saying all along. AEW is not a wrestling company. It's a wrestling playground. It is a self-funded wrestling playground so that guys can go out there and pull off the moves and do the things that they want to do that they can't do in any other company. This is Tony Khan's toy box that he pays for, and rightfully so. If you pay for it, you get to do what you want. But it's Tony Khan's version of wrestling street ball. It's a who's next mentality. It's next up. You get to play a couple of games, and then you disappear for a couple weeks. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. It is a great place for misfit wrestlers. Guys like Jon Moxley, who couldn't officially get over in WWE. Guys like the Young Bucks, who couldn't really find a commercial success anywhere else. So they go to the wrestling company, they get Tony Khan, and they fabricate something that looks like a legit company. You turn it on TV, it looks like a wrestling company. But the problem is it's not making money. It's self-funded. They're not worried about selling tickets. They're not worried about cards that make sense. It's Tony Khan. It is the definition of fake it until you make it. It is Tony Khan fantasy booking. It's what we'd all dream of. We all wish we could do it. Could just pay people to wrestle so that we can see the matches that we want to see. But the problem is, this is, guys, as former athletes, you've been in locker rooms where someone's dad was the coach. That's what this feels like. This feels like Tony Khan doesn't know how to tell certain people no. And so when you have a guy that has no spine, the inmates run the asylum. To me, this is why ultimately Britt Baker ends up in WWE. This is why MJF will end up in WWE. And this is why CM Punk left WWE, went to UFC, got beat up real bad, went to AEW, tried to fit in and went, oh man, this is bullshit. There are things worse than WWE. So he came back, and now we see this new humble version of Punk who goes, Triple H cleaned this up. It feels better. And ultimately, the grass wasn't greener on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had two takeaways from the whole interview, right? And kind of backtracking to what you said, how AEW kind of feels like a lesser company, right? Punk mentioned information about his triceps injury when he was with AEW and how nobody contacted him for 6 months. No one helped him with his surgery. No one helped him with his PT, nothing. And then he talked about how WWE, it's a complete opposite, right? They're on top of it. They've got a schedule for him. They've got everybody on top of him, contacting them daily. That right there kind of already shows you the balance between the two companies, right? And then another thing was Jack Perry. Jack Perry, a.k.a. Jungle Boy, whatever you want to call
bitch.
him. Yeah. This guy seems like he's a real problem in the whole industry as a whole. It seems like he rubs people the wrong way. I listened to Busted Open earlier this morning. Bully Ray was like, I had an interaction with this guy. I was trying to be cordial, and he treated me like a piece of shit.
But my daddy was on 90210.
Man,
you gotta love
cool.
me.
Yeah, that's well and great, but when he's got doctors and producers and talent telling him not to do a certain thing, he still does it. And then he's starting fights with CM Punk. It's like, all right, well, we might see now why CM Punk had the door open for him. So those were my two major takeaways. I agree with what you said, Nerdy. It's just a mess.